I am Father Matthew Long, the Vicar General of the Diocese of Shreveport and the Director of Liturgy and Worship. And I want to share with you a few changes that will be happening this season of Lent, especially on Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday will be on February 17th, and it starts the great season of Lent. One of the most important parts of Ash Wednesday, which is where it receives its name, is the distribution of ashes. Whenever we are marked with ashes to remind us of the fasting, the penance, the almsgiving, and the prayer that we embark upon for 40 days as we journey through that great season. It has usually been the custom in the United States that each individual penitent is marked with ashes on their forehead. Usually this is done in the sign of the cross. This year, due to the pandemic, the distribution of ashes will be different. Instead of being marked individually with the sign of the cross on your forehead with ashes, we will be following the European model, which has been recommended by Pope Francis. We have been given directives by the USCCB, and it is a mandate given us by Bishop Malone, that the ashes will be sprinkled on top of our heads, and there will be no outward sign that we have received ashes on that day. I am going to now show you exactly what's going to happen that day so that you will be prepared and understand what's going on. In the usual manner, the priest will approach wherever the ashes are, and he will then say a prayer. After he says that prayer and blesses the ashes, he will then sprinkle them with holy water as he normally does. Following the sprinkling with holy water, he will then face the congregation and say one of two phrases: repent and believe in the gospel, or remember that you are dust and to dust you shall return. These phrases are usually spoken to each individual penitent. This year, they will be spoken to the entire congregation at once. After he has spoken those words, the priest, deacons, and extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion will then begin to distribute ashes. And I will now demonstrate to you how that distribution of ashes will take place. As you see, the distribution of ashes is very different. But remember that it goes along with our reading of that day. When Jesus tells us that whenever we fast, we should not look as if we are fasting. We should wash our face and anoint ourselves with oil. And so this year, even though each of us will be in the same disposition as we usually are at the beginning of Ash Wednesday, there will be no visible sign of it. The sign will be on our hearts and in our minds and in the vows that we make to serve God as we journey through the season of Lent.